Kyrgyzstan, Dojian.
Here we are on Antigua Shipyard, ladies and gentlemen, and at the top left-hand corner, we have our purple Zerg player hailing from Team Liquid. It is the little one, and his opponent, down in the bottom right-hand corner, from the Team Prime, is MarineKing. He has taken 3 games in a row. He is our blue Terran player. So here we are, cross positions on Antigua Shipyard, TVZ action, and we're going to see what the little one can pull out of his hat.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. You know, TLO is one of those people that's like played all races too. Not Protoss so much, but he was Terran for a while, then he was Zerg, then he was Terran for a while, and now he's
Random
Zerg.
as well.
He was random for a while, so he's got a lot of experience with kind of all the matchups, every conceivable situation, and I think that's kind of his big strength, is that he's one of the better players out there at just kind of adapting and responding to situations. So we'll have to see what he has planned for this one.
It is only course. That is
only
correct.
Course.
Yes,
Yep.
TLO, you are correct.
That's right.
And we'll see what MarineKing.Prime does this time. We've seen 3 games. We've seen 3 different approaches to the game so far. We saw a very heavy 1 base in game number 1. We, of course, saw a super macro game against Hero. We saw nice 2 base play against Xenio in game number 3. So he's actually he's done a different set of bases for each of his games so far. So we'll see if this time we get about 12.
One of the things I love about MarineKing is that he's just got so many different builds, so many different openings. He's easily one of the most versatile players in StarCraft 2 right now, which is interesting because at the beginning, he was one of the least versatile StarCraft 2 players.
Yeah.
He basically had one build, one style he would do every game, the just huge mass Marines, lots of microing. He was really good at it. He made a name for himself doing it, but it's really cool to see how he's kind of come back and became this very, very well-rounded StarCraft 2 player. It's a really cool story to kind of watch MarineKing develop over the last, year and a half or so.
And TLO jumps in there before anything pops up on the barracks. Steals a gas as well, once they have as much vision as is possible as all of this goes on, of course. And one Marine already popping out saying, hey!
Yep.
It's my gas.
It's like, there's something wrong with our gas geyser. We need to get this looked at.
Does no one else care about this? Am I the only one, really?
He's like, hey, SCVs, you see this happening? It's like as big as a building. Nobody else, all right, the other Marine notices. That's good. Looks like we're going to see Reactor Inhaling anyway. So MarineKing doesn't technically need the second gas right away, but it would be nice for him just to get rid of it. I think it's what, you need 3 Marines to DPS down the geyser? Yeah,
yes, you are correct.
Right, yep. Now, meanwhile, back at TLO's base, quick double gas from him as well, interestingly enough.
Or just single, because he has the second
because
gas
of the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, TLO faking me out even as well. There we go. That's done with.
Automaton doing some scouting and makes it under the supply depot there, so nice job on his part. He does see the reactor Hellions coming out, but you're right. Mr. MarineKing did not exactly need the gas right away, but certainly didn't want that perpetual scout inside of his base.
Yeah. I wouldn't either. Just makes me uncomfortable,
Yeah.
Drones creep me out, They're not that dangerous, but it's just kind of like a spider that's on the ceiling in the corner. You're like, oh, it's not hurting me, but it's just kind of creeping me out a little bit.
Are Zerg buildings living? Are they live
I would think
creatures?
they are. I would think they are. They seem to have like organs and blood and bones and stuff. So
what I thought as well. So you'd have to like watch this living Zerg organism, much like GLaDOS or something like that, just kind of peering over you. Hey, what's going on?
Maybe. Creepiest thing is spine crawlers, man. It's like a spine crawler peeking up above like the fence in the next yard over. You're like, spine crawler, this is just creepy. I'm gonna call the cops, man. Leave me alone.
The best part is whenever spine crawler walks, because he looks like a lady from the 80s inside of a convertible whenever he does, just hair flipping back in the wind.
He kind of does, I guess.
I always wondered how much momentum.
Spine crawler in a convertible would be quite the sight to see.
Well, spine crawler is going to be utilized here in a second as need to drive off this push from MarineKing. A nice catch from MarineKing. He does pick off 1 creep tumor, so he's not really going to be able to get too much further. Look at the range of that spine there.
Pretty long.
Yeah.
Yep, so MarineKing doing what most good Terrans will do, which is kind of sit at the edge of the creep, make sure it doesn't go any farther while they tech up, get their natural expansion going. Yep, Xenio having to, or Liquid TLO rather, sorry, having to cancel another creep tumor there.
And taking a look around, he's got 18 more links popping out at the moment, so we'll have 26 on the field here momentarily. And we'll see what follows this up. But that is a lot of lings. He will certainly be able to
it
drive
is.
away that number.
Oh, he's trying to get this
Hellions.
round.
Oh, and he does. Oh,
Sort
he
of.
got a couple there at certain times, but then
Just
has
one.
to drive off. So picks off one. Going to try and get a couple more here in a second. MarineKing trying to double back. I think he realizes these are lost.
Oh,
and, there.
nice angle.
Yeah, gets a pretty good shot
Oh,
there.
man.
Whoa. Killing a lot of Zerglings, actually.
Yeah, that turned out okay. Oh, look at that. Everything MarineKing did was just to try to get those lings in a good angle, and he killed about half of them, which wasn't too bad. Oh, wow. Actually, TLO making a ton of Zerglings right now. I wonder, no Baneling Nest or anything like that, so I wonder if he's just going to try to do a ling run by. It might be, but that is not a good idea right now. Okay.
No, not at all. So he's got a few more lings up.
Yeah.
He does have a macro hatch on the way as well, but no indication of tech there, finally. Double evolution chambers, but no Baneling Nest or Roach Warren or anything of the sort on the way.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to why he tried to do that. I think maybe he thought with the amount of Hellions that were out there that maybe there weren't a lot of Marines and tanks, but or maybe if he, if TLO was doing something like going mech, he could have caught him unawares with that, but that just did not work out.
Yeah.
Normally, you'd be better off making a lot of drones in this situation, but
He was sorely mistaken, unfortunately, and is paying the price for it at the moment, but because his opponent is on 2 bases now, going to a 3rd, as a matter of fact. MarineKing has a 3rd command center on the way, and there's finally a 3rd base coming up for TLO.
yeah. Now, both of these guys are going to be going for those double upgrades, too. TLO getting his started a little bit sooner, but the 2 engineering bays from MarineKing.Prime are finishing right now. There they go. They're done. And with the 2 extra gases, he's going to be able to make the units that he needs and also get his upgrades going really, really quickly. So MarineKing just going to be playing a very fast build-up marine tank style. Just doing that without a lot of tech, just pure marine tank, probably some medevacs, and then just really, really fast upgrades.
And Zergling gets shelled as he tries to make his way in, but he sees a pretty good defense, and that MarineKing is trying to take position on this 3rd as well. But let's see what TLO does here in a second. He's got lings patrolling everywhere, so he really does have nice map vision at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot of
that
lings.
I know, it's a ton of lings out there. Might be thinking about doing another run-by, possibly. Time it out with +1/+1. That can work sometimes.
This is
no other tech.
Yeah, this is actually an enormous amount of 1/1 lings. So
yeah,
very upgraded lings. Yes, MarineKing admittedly doesn't have a whole lot on the field, but this, I don't know, man. I mean, this has really got to work for TLO, because if it doesn't, he's going to be in a big disadvantage.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of Marines out right now for MarineKing, but yeah, he's still producing lings. Just a huge, huge Zergling +1/+1 timing. This is something that some people have been playing around with. I think the whole Stefano thing kind of sparked the interest in playing very heavy Zergling styles. Yeah, you can see he's kind of splitting them up there. I think he's just going to do a really huge +1 ling attack here. Yeah, there he goes.
All right, well, let's follow this in here. So splitting them up a little bit, making sure that they're a little bit more spread out, and he's just going to make his way in. What does MarineKing have on the field? Looks like he's got some starports coming up, but not a lot actually sitting on the field, and more importantly, no upgrades finished for those Marines at all. As a matter of fact, a stim nor combat shield is finished up right now.
Oh, he's getting, he's getting MarineKing firing his own SCVs down there as well. Taking out the 3rd, I think MarineKing might end up having to lift this. We'll see. Oh, more lings coming in right now.
Yes.
So many lings. Those Marines are going to take a lot of siege tank damage. And TLO just doing a really good job of getting those lings in there like that.
Yeah, he is. He's picked off almost all the tanks. He's flooding in more lings after this. MarineKing trying to produce as much as he can. 1 tank and 5 Marines at a time, but this looks like this hit very well. Here comes TLO once again. Those upgraded lings proving to be worth their weight in gold. Still no stim done. Still no combat shields on the way.
Look at that. Just +1/+1 lings and good control from TLO has gotten him into a pretty decent position in this game. He's killing just a ton of stuff here, but he needs to be careful. I mean, he needs to be careful not to make too many lings. He needs to have a good economic transition into the mid to late game, but I don't know, man. I mean, he's killing a lot of SCVs here.
Yes, he is. And he's just pumping out more and more lings. Baneling Nest on the way now.
Wow.
He's still got pretty good mining off of a couple of bases. He's up by 30 supply overall. He's not gone through the rocks, but he has gone along the side and forced a lift off of this orbital command.
What's the worker count right now?
It is 51 to 39.
Yeah, he's got a lot of SCVs.
Yes, he has, as a matter of fact. 22 is the official count.
So I wonder if he's just going to kind of build up again and then hit when 2-2 finishes this time.
Yeah, very possible. He's also going to have an infestation pit and a baneling nest done when those are up. So this is a very creative, fun style out of TLO. And he is going to push his way in. It may come at some cost, though, if MarineKing is able to hold. Oh, but those tanks were not sieged up. The Lings are surrounding as best they can. The Marines are, of course, still very high DPS, but it looks like these tanks are starting to bite the dust. A bunch more SCVs are going to fall. TLO backing up at the moment, but he's effectively prevented this third from sitting down once again.
Yeah, his Baneling Nest is done as well now, so he can start producing some Banelings, too, if he chooses to.
Yeah.
He's got 4 on the way here. And the big thing is that he's just kind of keeping MarineKing low on offensive units. And look at that. 30 supply ahead, too.
8 more workers killed. We'll see if he can push back in once again. Not going after those Banelings, as a matter of fact. Nice job splitting off the Banelings into separate little groups there. MarineKing sees them now. The Banelings kind of wasting themselves on the siege tank. Looks like he just wants to get that down at any cost now.
Oh, he gets it.
Yes, he does.
And MarineKing just, wow, he just cannot handle this huge amount of Zerglings. I mean, TLO feels like that level in single player, man. He's just overrunning him. It's just a swarm. So, yeah, that is it, man. I mean, I feel like if TLO keeps rallying units like this, I think he's going to win.
He kills another 7 or 8 workers every time he goes up, pulls ahead by another 3 or 4 supply. Yep. And look at this. He is going to deny this base once again. That's going to be forced to be lifted. We do have Hive Tech coming up as well.
I was going to say, yeah, he's got Hive Tech on the way for 3-3. He's also got a lot of Infestors that are going to be popping out soon. I've got a feeling once the pathogen glands finish as well.
And let's see here as... yeah, it looks like look how much gas he's got saved up. So there is going to be quite a few Infestors.
Oh, hidden Banelings go a little bit north of where you are right now.
A little bit north.
Oh,
there we are.
Well.
We'll see if this pops into range.
Oh, MarineKing. Okay, it does see them.
All right. Are they going to pop up at the right time? No. I think it would have been like 3 or 4 seconds earlier would have been fun, but still 59 workers for TLO, so low worker count, tons of units, lots of upgrades, but it's just been all Zerglings up to this point. He has literally made nothing but Zerglings and a handful of Banelings.
Well, he's done a really good job of controlling the game. Usually you see Terran the one being the aggressor and the Zerg having to defend, but he's kind of turned the tables on MarineKing, making MarineKing sit back and defend while TLO is aggressive. And look at that fast adrenal glands in 3-3.
Yeah.
The ultimate Zergling style from TLO, it looks like here.
Oh, certainly. He's going to lose a couple of Overlords, though, unfortunately. Yep. Both those are going to go down, and MarineKing will pick back up here, hopefully, in just a second. A couple of Marines fall first, but not before MarineKing is able to get away with most of the stuff there. But, yeah, so many upgrades coming. 3-3 on the way. 2-2 about to finish up for MarineKing, though. And he does have a nice defensive position sitting back at home.
Yeah, that's the other thing, and that's why I mentioned earlier that TLO doesn't want to go too crazy with the Zerglings. You know, he doesn't want to sacrifice his entire economy, but he's done a good job of finding that balance. And although TLO's upgrades are good, he doesn't quite have the army that he would want to, and plus he knows, too, you can see him trying to drop here, but he knows that he hasn't been able to put any sort of pressure on TLO all game, and that's got to be really, really kind of psychologically hard to deal with for MarineKing, because you're kind of just sitting back there knowing that Zerg is just macroing like crazy. Oops.
Yeah, that's kind of what MarineKing does, too. Loves controlling the tempo of games. Does get the drop killed, though, but it gets a nice scout on exactly the units that TLO has up at the moment. Yep. Burrow is on the way. We have Adrenal Glands finishing up in less than 15 seconds. So
Burrowed Infestors could be quite good here, too.
And I have seen him use those quite a bit as well, so
yeah,
we'll find out.
Well, TLO was one of the players I remember way back when. He had a game where he was fungling Marines, and that was like the biggest thing anyone had ever seen at that point. They were like, oh my gosh, look at how he's using the Infestors. He's fungal growthing those Marines. and yeah, I know, this was against, who was it? It was a player that we don't see anymore. I can't remember who it was now, but some Terran player. But yeah, it was like this big revolutionary thing that he was using Infestors this way. So he was one of the first people to kind of do this sort of thing.
And he does have those Burrowed Infestors up at the front. Those are still in style for him as far as he's concerned. And he's getting a pretty good shot of what his opponent has on the field. Oh, we have 2 things going on at once. A drop heading down here, which it looks like TLO is going to be able to clean up. And I don't know if he was trying to bait out units with the Overlords or not, but it doesn't look like MarineKing is going to take the bait.
Yep. I think he's kind of trying to wait for those Marines to group up so he can pop up and fungal them. He's not doing anything like throw out infested Terrans or anything like that, but oh, this would be a good time to pop out Fungal.
Let's see, he's leading up with a few lings right now.
No.
He has another Infestor sitting over on the side with Fungal Growth ready, but MarineKing has just been able to take a few kills for almost nothing.
Oh, that's a lot of Zerglings.
Look at that wave of units making their way down for TLO. There's the scan as a couple of Infested Terrans do pop out, and it looks like TLO is just going to push his way through. There's a lot of Siege Tanks sitting up, but these Lings are so strong on 3-3 with Adrenal Glands. They're cutting through the front line of units, and it looks like TLO has made his way into MarineKing's third as well.
Yeah, killing a lot of SCVs at the third. He doesn't quite handle the army, but I think he did the damage that he needed to do. Excuse me, he's going to be able to remax pretty quickly with this.
Yeah, he's trying as fast as he can right now. MarineKing is making units a
gonna
little
be
bit
enough.
slower. Here come a few Banelings. They could take a big shot, though, from the Siege Tanks. It looks like they do. Enough units are killed, but still a pretty big hit there from the Siege Tank.
Yeah, now 3-3 is about to finish from MarineKing, though, so TLO isn't out of the woods quite yet. You notice another thing he was doing, too, is using those Burrowed Infestors to throw out Infested Terrans to draw the Siege Tank fire to let his Zerglings close as well, and that's a nice little tactic we see a lot of players like T-Gun, for instance, do, which is a really cool way for Zerg players to engage those big entrenched Terran armies. But I don't know. I mean, MarineKing has certainly contained TLOs, taking a lot of the map, but the upgrades are going to be really good for MarineKing, so it's not quite over yet. I think TLO's got a nice big advantage right now, but MarineKing's still got a shot. A slim shot, but he's still got a shot.
Well, we do have an Ultralisk Cavern coming up. That's the late game tech of choice. I don't think there's been a Spire built this entire game, so no threat of Broodlords, really. And it looks like MarineKing is responding by just massing ridiculous amounts of Marines at the moment, but you are right. He has been effectively contained. No mining over at the natural, no mining over at the main, and just a little bit of mining going on over at the third. So TLO with those multiple bases is doing pretty well.
Yep, and it looks like he'll be able to clean up this drop as well. If he's going to get the medevac, nope. Lets the medevac escape. He says, go back to your base and tell them what happened here. This is what we'll do to all your Marines.
I'm just the messenger. This is Sparta. Something along those lines. Another
This is Antigua.
Well, let's see here. His TLO has a lot of units up, and he is massing Banelings now. He's going to have 22 in a second. He's got almost 100 Lings once again, and enough gas to start throwing a bunch more into the mix. Still just sitting on 61, now 62 drones at the moment, though, as, you know, he has been able to support these relatively cheap units without having that 80 or 90 Zergling count, or drone count.
Yep.
He's going to push his way through the front here. And there's a lot of Banelings behind, and really the Siege Tanks have not gone after those Banelings thus far, so a lot of damage being suffered at the moment from MarineKing. Oh, those Banelings trying to make their way into the middle line.
And that Infestor can still fungal even if the Banelings don't.
Oh, wow. Doesn't get that impeccable shot right there, but still certainly some damage done. Banelings going off and taking out a few SCVs now.
Yep, the scan reveals the burrowed Banelings and the Zerglings. And TLO, look at that. Wow.
82 workers killed to 1?
Yeah, he's only lost 1 drone this game, apparently. That is pretty good.
It's remarkable.
It's not bad, yeah.
All right. Well, let's see here. TLO, he's up by about 45 supply at the moment. MarineKing making quite a few very strong units, admittedly, but he's just not been able to exercise any sort of his will on this match so far.
Yep, TLO having to respond to this little drop here, but look at how fast the Lings are getting there.
Yeah.
These guys aren't going to be able to do a huge ton of damage. What are those drones doing?
Well, he felt bad that he had killed so many workers at the loss of basically nothing. So,
well, the other thing, too, the other possibility, well, no, he's remaking drones. So, okay, I was like, well, maybe he wants to lose drones so he can have a bigger late-game army, but nope, he's remaking drones, so just a little bit of miscontrol there, I guess.
And a perfectly placed creep tumor as well from TLO, as that's going to deny the gold for quite some time. And MarineKing would really like that at the moment.
What are those Banelings doing?
I'm not sure. Hanging out, chilling.
It's like, hey, guys.
Dead. That's going to draw a scan here.
A little bit too close, yeah.
Look at that. Oh, that was so smart. Sends the Marauder on top and just takes the damage.
Well, I think that was kind of one of those things where MarineKing's like, all right, I saw your Baneling. I'm not going to waste a scan.
Yeah.
And TLO's like, all right, yeah, you caught me. Here you go.
And he does draw a few of TLO's units out for a second, and looks like he was appearing as though he was going to force the scan, but doesn't. for a little while. But MarineKing, he's just working off of almost no mining. This is it. That's it on the right-hand side. And TLO, he's at 161 supply. Of course, he's got very, very nice units on the field. 141 lings with chitinous plating for those ultras coming up in a second.
Yeah, and once the ultras hit, that's going to be pretty tough for MarineKing to deal with. TLO's got a ton of gas saved up as well. He's going to be able to just build up some minerals here and then produce a lot of ultralisks at once. And he just continues to take bases as well. You know, with the amount of lings and stuff he's making, I'm surprised he hasn't decided to go for the gold quite yet.
Yeah, he has been just sitting off of these ancillary bases around the outside for a little while.
A little oversaturated, too, on some of those. So
yeah, it looks like it, especially because he's running low on mining at his third. But, okay. Looks like MarineKing's going to push his way up to the front here. He draws all of the lings out of TLO. TLO picks off a couple of units, and then that's about all for now. Looks like he just wanted to clean up that creep tumor. TLO, though, looks like he may have a big multi-pronged attack coming here in a second.
I think so. He's sending one group around the top. He's got that second group on the bottom. And is it going to be enough to take up MarineKing's army, though? TLO is so far ahead in supply, though. That's a really good tank spread, though, for MarineKing.
And it is just 28 workers to 65 right now, so the army size, at about 40 supply there in terms of just army supply for Marine. That's the difference between the two. TLO can, of course, reproduce his army so much quicker.
You know, to a certain extent, I feel like TLO is kind of playing around with his opponent right now. I feel like he had chances to come in and finish him. I don't know why he hasn't tried to go in the back of the third base quite yet, because now TLO's got the gold, but here's the attack from MarineKing. Is it going to be enough? It's such a good tank spread.
Yes, it is. TLO, though, reproducing his units very quickly. We'll see if this alone is going to be enough. Baneling's waiting over at the top as well, and he's going to roll in afterwards. There's only a couple of tanks left now. Oh, unfortunately, those Banelings getting destroyed. But nice a nice hit. And TLO going to make his way in afterwards. MarineKing down to 70 supply, and it looks like this attack is going to crush through everything.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the one that ends the game. That gold base is never really going to make a difference for MarineKing. And the reign of terror from the King of Marines looks like it's over. And just waiting for TLO to strike the death blow here.
And there it is, GG. And so it wasn't Cheth or Hero or Zenio that could take out MKP. It was TLO, and he does it in style with a fun Massling build.